Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, señoras y señores, excelencias. Wow, we've come to the end of this fantastic conference.
Almost the end.
Almost the end.
Yeah.
Singer and I are here for you. It is time now for our final session of the Global Vaccine Impact Conference. And what an amazing 3 days we've had. Time for reflection, listening, and of course, looking ahead. And we really hope that it's been a time for you all to reconnect after 5 long years without seeing each other in person. And of course, we've been here in the most beautiful city, Madrid. And wow, what a 3 days it's been.
It's been a phenomenal 3 days. It's been such a pleasure and a privilege to be one of the moderators at this conference. Just before I leave and let you close the session, Maria, we just really like to thank the people that you have not been seeing on the stage. The interpreters, the crew who are dealing with so many moving parts. I'm from South Africa. We're used to the lights sometimes going out for hours. I know in Madrid you're not used to that here. They've handled it with so much grace and temerity. So just a thank you to them, and thank you to you for being such an engaged, wonderful audience. It really has been a pleasure and a privilege. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria.
And one more thing. We must thank the castanet players outside. They've been fantastic.
Absolutely.
A round of applause for the castanet players.
Absolutely, Maria.
And if we've forgotten anybody to thank you anyway. A round of applause to everybody.
Observed. Good
Absolutely.
afternoon.
And Singer, you've been amazing. See you.
What a pleasure.
What a fantastic
Thank you.
co-host. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I feel sad. Can't believe we're ending. All right, we now end strong. We began strong, we end strong. I would like now to call to the stage my final panelists, and for that I will be calling, first of all, Her Excellency Dr. Wilhelmina Jallah, Minister of Health of the Government of Liberia. Your Excellency, thank you. And next I would like to call from Spain, His Excellency Dr. José Manuel Miñones, Conde, Minister of Health of Spain. Su Excelencia, bienvenido. And next we have Professor José Manuel Barroso, Chair of the Gavi Board and former President of the European Commission. And finally, Dr. Seth Berkley, CEO of Gavi. Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, what a panel we have. All right, we begin. Now, before I invite our panelists to speak, I'd just like to introduce a video message now from Jutta Urpilainen, the European Commissioner for International Partnerships.
Distinguished guests, responding to the COVID-19 pandemic was an enormous challenge. Team Europe came together and was united in tackling the pandemic. We used a full range of tools available to support Gavi and COVAX. I am proud that we are amongst the biggest donors to COVAX, both in funding and in vaccine doses. Learning the lessons from the pandemic, the EU presented its new global health strategy last November. Equitable, affordable, timely and global access to high quality, safe and effective prevention, detection and response tools is one of its key commitments, as well as making health systems inclusive and resilient. In all, Gavi is an important partner. The EU remains a leading contributor with an increase of 50% during the last replenishment. Gavi plays a key role in pandemic preparedness, prevention and response. Reducing the number of zero-dose children is a priority at the core of its mission. Nearly 50% of all vaccine-preventable deaths occur among unvaccinated children. A heartbreaking figure which underlines the urgency to act. The EU is also committed to diversification of supply. As part of our Team Europe initiative on health manufacturing in Africa, we support Gavi's market-shaping strategy. It focuses on sustainable regional vaccine markets in close partnership with the African Union, including Africa CDC, so that Africa can produce vaccines for Africa in Africa. Dear colleagues, together with our Global Gateway efforts to boost health manufacturing, Gavi's work is helping build resilient societies. And we look forward to continuing our leading partnership.
It really is so energizing to hear such a strong message of commitment there from Europe, from the Commissioner. Europe has been such a strong supporter of Gavi and, of course, of COVAX. And we continue with a strong European theme. A big face of Europe, of course, is Professor José Manuel Barroso, who is now the chair of the Gavi board and also former president of the EU Commission. Doctor, I'm going to keep calling you doctor. This is how tired we are.
It doesn't matter. Call me José.
Professor Barroso, the stage is yours now for some final concluding comments.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria. You could call me only José Manuel, because in fact the Minister of Health of Spain is also José Manuel. Yesterday the Minister of Foreign Affairs was José Manuel. The Minister of Honduras is here with us, is José Manuel. I want to tell this is not an absolute requirement to be a speaker in our Gavi. So it's the best way to do it. Thank you, Maria, for your kind words of introduction, and thank you to Commissioner Urpilainen for her video that indeed shows the great support of the European Union along other partners to Gavi mission. For us, it's so important to have this support, not only the financial support that has been great, but also the commitment, the leadership that we also see here in Spain. And I want once again to say muchas gracias to España. Thank you very much to Spain, not only for the great hospitality, but also for the leadership and the commitment of Spain to the cause of global health and to the support of Gavi. Now, trying to have some very brief final remarks. Although you remain on track to meet the majority of the key commitments promised during this current strategic period, we need to continue prioritizing routine immunization and rebuilding health systems disrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic has been the greatest test of Gavi's model in its 23 years history. Drawing from the important lessons learned from this past pandemic will allow for better planning for future health emergencies and position Gavi as a key actor in pandemic prevention, preparedness, and response. Vaccines are central to global health security. We spoke about this extensively today, the power of vaccines. Governments should continue to prioritize global health and reinforce the crucial role of immunization in attaining health equity. We must maintain a spirit of multilateralism and global cooperation to better prepare for any future global health crisis. And remember, we need to seize the opportunity to tackle the drivers of such imbalances, not only in times of crisis. Over the years, the strength of this alliance, and I like to have a special word of recognition to our partners, namely WHO, UNICEF, World Bank, members of the alliance, and others that are also here today represented. The strength of this alliance has been the networked approach working efficiently with the broader alliance partners, capitalizing on the power of its model to drive progress in immunization. The road ahead remains ambitious, and we need to equip ourselves with the right toolkit to meet our targets. Developing Gavi's financial tools and capacity to innovate at pace, and one of the originalities of Gavi is also IFIM, and I'm delighted to see the chair of IFIM also with us. And in fact, we were innovating also in this financial area, and it's going to be critical in creating the capacity to reach more zero-dose children and also marginalized communities, and to respond to a growing number of epidemics and possible future pandemics. As the world changes, we adapt. This means other factors come into play, for instance, the very serious threat and the already happening of climate change. And we'll need to consider how to adapt our model to meet these additional challenges and evolve within the global health architecture. Our collective ambition requires your continuous political will and financial support, not just to immunize children, but also to protect more young adolescents and adults, and building resilience to global health threats to ensure we leave no one behind. So thank you very much for the contributions. I think it has been a great success, this event, and I'm sure that it's going to be one step more in the very, very determined action that we at Gavi, together with you, are going to pursue for the good of our children, but our citizens all over the world, especially the most vulnerable ones. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much, Professor Barroso, for those concluding remarks. And indeed, we have seen a tremendous spirit of collaboration here over these past few days. And now it's impossible to speak about the future without really speaking about the people that are affected by that future and who that future belongs to. And for that, we're going to play a short video now to hear from the younger generation to see what is a priority for them.
Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca from Uganda. Vaccination is a vital and effective intervention against disease-related mortality, particularly in low and middle-income countries, preventing an estimated 5.1 million deaths from vaccine-preventable diseases annually. It is sad that full vaccination amongst children, women, and young people is still limited due to climate change, civil unrest, lack of awareness, and lack of infrastructure. And these issues affect effective immunization amongst populations in communities. As a youth leader and youth representative, and one who is deeply passionate about vaccinations, there's need to prioritize investment in primary health care and the health workers who deliver the services. We also must tailor relevant programs and policies, both at national and global level, that allow direct allocation of resources that target hard-to-reach communities. I therefore ask global leaders today in this room to make global commitments that target the urgent implementation in filling the gaps that affect immunization. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Liz Tonjira. I'm the Communications and Engagement Director at Women Lift Health, and I'm also a passionate youth advocate. To me, striving for generation immunity means placing women at the center of vaccination programs, from caregivers and household decision makers to researchers and scientists to frontline health workers and health sector leaders. Women hold the key to success at every level of vaccination programs. We also have a crucial opportunity to protect adolescent girls with the HPV vaccine. Gavi's goal of reaching over 86 million girls by 2025 with the HPV vaccine could avert 1.4 million future deaths from cervical cancer. These girls are our future scientists, writers, sports champions, and innovators. By centering women and girls, we can unlock the full potential of immunization, supporting the next generation to stay healthy and achieve their dreams.
Hello, my name is Apertrida Paul and I'm from the United Republic of Tanzania. A public health expert, I think the most importance of health for future generations in Tanzania lies around malaria elimination. With 475,000 deaths of children under the age of 5 in 2021 have occurred in the African continent alone. Malaria still remains a killer disease in Africa. With Gavi's support, the world's first malaria vaccine is set to be rolled out across sub-Saharan Africa, but we will need additional support to ensure that Africa reaps the benefits of this additional malaria elimination tool. It is projected that at a scale using this vaccine, we could save 10,000 of young lives each year, not only in Tanzania, not only in Africa, but across the world. Let's end malaria once and for all. Thank you.
Fantastic, powerful messages there from Africa. I want to put this to you, Minister, Your Excellency. You're the Minister of Health of Liberia. What did you make of those comments there by those young ladies?
Thank you, Maria. Let me first say again, thanks to the Spanish government for their great hospitality. We really had a good time here in Spain, even though we did not see too much, but we had a good time. And let me say congratulations to the Gavi Alliance for their support to all of us in this room, to our various countries, and for putting up such a great conference that we will leave better than when we came in. It is indeed a great honor to be sitting not only on this final panel, but with the board chair of Gavi, with the CEO, and with the Minister of Spain. I hope that this is a sign of more investment in our immunization program and health system in Liberia. Now, let me just share with you 3 quick things. In Liberia, 84% of our population receive the COVID vaccine between the ages of 5 to 12, 12 to 18, and 18 and older. We have reduced the prevalence rate of malaria from 45% in 2016 to 18% in 2022. And we have also launched our HPV vaccine, which they spoke about in the video. But the question on how I felt about this video, I am overwhelmed. I'm ready to do more than what I was doing before the video.
Why?
Because of the importance of HPV. Liberia can now declare want to be part of the countries that signed, will be signing. As soon as I know where the document is, I want to be able to sign that document on the elimination of cervical cancer.
Fantastic.
That's the first thing. But as the Minister of Health, I want to confidently say that the future of this generation that was speaking to us rests not only in my hands, but in all of your hands that are sitting in this audience. So look at each one of the faces within the audience. Take a picture of the face, because if we fail these young people, austerity will judge all of us.
Absolutely.
It's important, like they said, we have to invest in infrastructure. We have to invest in a fit-for-purpose workforce. We have to invest in our community health workers to make sure that we reach everyone with all of the vaccines that we need. We heard on the recording that health is contributing to the climate change. We have to make a change. We need to change the way how we are energizing our building, especially we who are in Africa. We use a lot of generators because of the electricity problem. So we need to change to solar energy to be able to help climate change. This midterm review have really been an eye-opener. We heard from so many different people across so many sectors. We heard from manufacturers, we heard from donors, we heard from CSOs, we heard from us as countries who have taken advantage of Gavi or the Gavi Alliance support to our countries. But we need to do our part. We need to galvanize resources, domestic resources in our countries to be able to help ourselves. Because, like they say, while somebody is scratching your back, you can be scratching the front. That's a little proverb. The challenges we face in the years ahead are significant, but we can take heart in the progress that we have made. All the other vaccines, including COVID, malaria, and many more to come, we saw how the future looking. It looks good, but we should still give ourselves and the Gavi Alliance a little pat on the back because they did good. Let us redouble our efforts to reach those who are still missing out on the benefits of vaccine, and let us work together to ensure that the next generation of children is raised with immunity they need to lead healthier and productive life. For the Spanish Minister of Health, I would say, mucho gracias.
Minister Jallah, you're such an inspiration, such a force, and I'm sure everybody here just wishes you in your position in your country the best of luck and rolling out what you want to achieve. Really fantastic to hear from you. I loved your speech here. I loved it yesterday as well in El Teatro Real. What an inspiration. Let's turn now to another inspiration. I want to turn now to the Gavi's CEO, Dr. Berkley. Now, Seth, during the past 3 days, we've had time here to reflect on the results, the challenges, and the need for a greater progress moving forward. And you are a pioneer in global public health. You've steered the Gavi ship for over a decade, 12 years to be precise, and you've helped it overcome such a huge array of challenges. And please share your insights on what you think the future holds.
So thank you very much, Maria, for that. And by the way, thank you for those other wonderful comments we've had. And I didn't say to you, I love the Dostoevsky quote yesterday. Yeah. But I think the amazing thing is you said me. I'm, I don't know, an orchestra leader sometimes, and sometimes a servant follower of everybody. It's this room. That's the dirty secret. It's the partnerships. And as we heard, the amazing diversity of people who are aligned trying to make a difference and help solve these big problems. And I think the most important thing from our part is we're a learning organization, and it's not to be dogmatic and it's not to be cookie cutter. We had that throughout the week. It's to understand what the challenges are and to work with the right people to solve those, to measure those, to keep going at it. When we fail, which we do, when we make mistakes, which we do, is to be honest and transparent about them and go at it again. And I think with that, we've been able to make all this progress. So in a sense, it's the tolerance of the community, the donors, our partners, and their dedication at really making this happen. And I think today, I mean, we've had now this is the third midterm review we've had. We had one in Sweden, we had one in Abu Dhabi, and we had this one here in Madrid. And there are a few people peppered in the audience who have been to all three. And what I heard is that this one really knocked it out of the park, if I use an Americanism. And it really was because partially we hadn't been together for a long time, but partially also because this has been a trying time. It's been a moment of polycrises, and it has, in a sense, forced us to be even more adaptive and move forward, and that's going to be the critical success going forward as well.
But you are stepping down. You're stepping down in August. Wow, after a historic 12-year tenure. We know your day-to-day job gives you no time to think about your legacy, but what do you think are your biggest achievements here with Gavi?
Well, I mean, in a sense, I've touched on some of them, and as I said, they're not my achievements, they're our achievements.
Yeah.
But I would start with the partnerships. I think there are 6 that I would name. The partnerships is critical. We've grown them, we've enhanced them, we brought different sectors in, and as I like to say, the great problems of humanity will not be solved by the UN, not by the private sector, not by governments. They will be solved by interesting collaborations across all of them. And so I think that's really been an accomplishment. A second one is the country-centric nature of what we do. The fact that we've had 19 countries that have graduated from Gavi support, continued to engage and fully own their vaccine programs, and the fact that we've had the incredible co-financing of countries to step up with domestic resources. This is an incredible accomplishment. The third one we've celebrated this week, the vaccine delivery, the more than 1 billion children that have been vaccinated, the fact that 1/8 of humanity has been vaccinated and 6 billion doses have actually been given, and we don't know exactly what that percentage is, as I explained, but it's extraordinary. The fact that industry has really come and stepped up and been able to innovate with us and work with us, reducing prices, making sure there is supply, bringing us new tools. We now have 50 different preparations of vaccines as opposed to a few when I started. On PPR, the amazing things we've seen, we had that terrible outbreak in West Africa, that the minister knows well, and of Ebola. Today we have a vaccine. We've used 50,000 doses of it now as a licensed vaccine, and it is still a scary disease, but the idea that we would have these massive outbreaks aren't going to happen anymore. And lastly, I would say it's this ability to be a learning organization and to have us adapt and change. I think that's, when people come to Gavi for the first time to be staff members, I remind them, and it's quite important to say, if you don't like change, this is not the organization to join, because we're constantly changing and adapting, and it isn't always for the best, but it is for the good of what we're trying to do with the knowledge we have at that moment. And as I said, I think that's the reason for our success, and it's something I'm very proud of.
Fantastic. And what would be some advice, perhaps, for the Alliance going forward?
Keep at it. And it is a long-term goal. I think you heard, I think it was Michael Anderson who said, he said 1955, I don't know why he picked that date, but he said if you could have imagined what would have been accomplished by this, he said, what an extraordinary thing. How could we have predicted it? But, in the trenches, you don't see it. But when you keep your eye on the prize and you keep chipping away at these problems, the effects are magical. And, I see a world where we don't have preventable child deaths. I see a world where women are fully empowered, where we have vaccines against many, many more diseases, and we can prevent those diseases rather than have people suffer with them and have very expensive outcomes that I'm sure our health minister from Spain is dealing with here in Spain and everywhere around the world. So I think that's the vision where we want to get to, and I think it's possible.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, just a round of applause for that 12-year tenure. This is not scripted, but I think it needs a standing ovation, really. 12 years, really. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias. 12 years. Right, I'm going to go and practice my Spanish over here. I just want to say how happy I am to be in Spain. I am, I don't know anymore if I'm British Spanish or Spanish British. Something happened a few years ago in Europe. I won't talk about it. It's called Brexit. Anyway, so I live in Istanbul now, between Asia and Europe. But I would like now to say thank you to Spain, to the Spanish government, and I will do this in Spanish for our closing remarks now by His Excellency, the Minister. Es un placer poder dar la bienvenida y ceder la palabra a Su Excelencia, el Ministro de Salud de España, Dr. José Manuel Miñones Conde. Su Excelencia, le agradecemos mucho que nos dijera unas breves declaraciones para concluir nuestro evento que ha sido apoyado por el Gobierno de España. Y nos gustaría expresar nuestro más profundo agradecimiento al Gobierno de España por acogernos a todos tan amablemente durante esta semana. Muchísimas gracias, España, y al Gobierno de España. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Excelencia, usted tiene la palabra.
Excelente español.
Yes.
Buena práctica.
Padres españoles.
Bueno, queridos colegas, autoridades, congresistas, señoras, señores, amigos, amigas, la verdad es que clausuramos una reunión de enorme interés para nuestro país y en la que hemos podido ejercer de anfitriones, y es para mí desde luego un auténtico placer haberles podido acompañar, más si cabe si tenemos en cuenta la temática de la que estamos hablando, una revisión clave y en un momento muy oportuno. Hace poco más de 3 años pues comenzaba la lucha contra una de las mayores alertas sanitarias que hemos sufrido en los últimos 100 años. La pandemia frente a la COVID-19 puso en jaque nuestros sistemas de salud, tensionando nuestras capacidades sanitarias e impactando directamente en el resto de aspectos de nuestras vidas, evidenciando una vez más que sin salud, desde luego, no podemos prosperar como sociedad. Esta fue una de las reflexiones que pudimos compartir hace un escaso tiempo, hace un escaso mes en Ginebra, donde celebrábamos precisamente el 75 aniversario de la Asamblea Nacional de la Salud Mundial, una Asamblea Mundial de la OMS, tras el reciente anuncio precisamente sobre el fin de la emergencia sanitaria internacional para la COVID-19. Una noticia que sin duda celebramos y que reconoce el trabajo que venimos haciendo a nivel global y desde luego un esfuerzo basado en la apuesta por la ciencia, también por la innovación y desde luego por la solidaridad. España es un buen ejemplo de la importancia de combinar todos estos principios. Nuestra estrategia de vacunación frente a la COVID-19 nos ha posicionado como referentes, contando ya con 106 millones de dosis administradas y prácticamente el 93% de la población española mayor de 12 años. Toda esta población ya tiene la pauta completa. Y nuestro compromiso por la ciencia y la innovación está dando resultados tan positivos como la reciente aprobación de comercialización de una nueva vacuna frente a la COVID desarrollada íntegramente aquí en España y gracias a la colaboración siempre tan importante público-privada, una vacuna que va a permitir seguir avanzando con el proceso de vacunación a nivel mundial y en la autonomía estratégica europea tan demandada. Pero con todo esto, la realidad es que debemos seguir combatiendo con la misma firmeza una pandemia que, pese a los anuncios positivos, pues es una realidad, se sigue cobrando vidas y nos urge, por lo tanto, redoblar esfuerzos para no dejar a nadie atrás. Como saben, nuestra política de vacunación solidaria nos ha llevado a donar más de 70 millones de dosis a terceros países. Es un compromiso que nos posiciona entre los 10 primeros países del mundo en donación efectiva de vacunas al mecanismo COVAX. Y de hecho, esta misma semana pues acabamos de hacer efectiva una donación a través de este mismo instrumento, en este caso a Uzbekistán, de casi 1 millón de dosis. Los datos que ha compartido Gavi a lo largo de estos días pues evidencian la importancia de contar con instituciones enfocadas en la mejora de la salud global a través de la vacunación. Como muestra, pues, estas más de 1.000 millones de dosis administradas a niños y niñas que ya se encuentran inmunizados en el mundo desde la creación de la Alianza. No puedo decir más que enhorabuena, felicidades. Y no me cabe ninguna duda de que las vacunas son uno de los pilares que garantizan el derecho a la salud y al bienestar social, y las noticias de la recuperación de las coberturas de vacunación tras el impacto de la pandemia pues desde luego nos llenan de esperanza. Parte del éxito del proceso de vacunación masivo que hemos tenido en España frente a la COVID-19 pues se debe precisamente a una cultura de vacunación muy extendida en nuestro país y que nos permite pues seguir invirtiendo en algo tan importante como es la prevención. De hecho, el pasado mes de diciembre, el Consejo Interterritorial del Sistema Nacional de Salud pues aprobaba un nuevo calendario de vacunación a lo largo de la vida. Es un hito que nos posiciona nuevamente a la cabeza de Europa, pero sobre todo es un nuevo enfoque que incluye nuevas vacunas tanto para la población infantil, como la recomendación de vacunación frente a la enfermedad meningocócica invasiva, también para la población adulta, como es en el caso del VPH, en el caso de la gripe o del herpes zóster. La verdad es que la pandemia ha puesto y ha vuelto a poner de manifiesto que los problemas de salud en un mundo global e interconectado requieren también de abordajes que sean conjuntos, abordajes que sean solidarios y abordajes que sean coordinados. Cuestiones como las resistencias antimicrobianas o los efectos que aquí ya acabáis de nombrar frente al cambio climático que provocan en la salud, pues son solo algunos de los ejemplos que evidencian la necesidad de seguir potenciando el enfoque One Health y, desde luego, trabajar en una nueva estructura de salud global, un proceso en el que España ya está aportando, como se ha podido compartir a lo largo de estos días. Debemos de saber que el mundo cada día está más conectado, que cada día está más globalizado, con una mayor movilidad y, por lo tanto, las posibilidades de enfermedades infecciosas transmitidas por vectores pues pueden, desde luego, prosperar y dar lugar a nuevas alertas o que dificulten la situación sanitaria en muchos países, y lo cual va a ser, desde luego, una evidencia mucho mayor en el día a día. Como bien saben, desde España vamos a ostentar la presidencia del Consejo de la Unión Europea en escasas semanas, a partir del 1 de julio, y lo haremos en un momento clave a nivel global también en el ámbito sanitario. Y en este sentido, pues sí que me gustaría, para ir finalizando, pues compartir con todos ustedes que queremos, desde luego, elevar el debate en cuestiones clave como es la importancia de la vacunación y los efectos del cambio climático en la salud, y a través de la realización, como haremos, de reuniones tanto técnicas como de reuniones de alto nivel a lo largo de los 6 meses de la presidencia que tendremos. La primera de ellas, sobre vacunación a lo largo de la vida, pues va a tener lugar precisamente aquí en Madrid el próximo mes de julio, el día 18 de julio. Y finalizo ya agradeciendo de nuevo a Gavi todo su trabajo y compromiso con la inmunización y la protección de la población vulnerable. Saben que cuentan con España para alcanzar las metas sanitarias de estos objetivos de desarrollo sostenible y, desde luego, para cumplir, y así el objetivo también creo que más importante y que nos une a todos los que estamos aquí presentes, y que nosotros, que el de mejorar la vida de la gente. Así que muchas gracias, gran trabajo, enhorabuena, felicidades, y aquí nos tienen. Gracias.
Muchísimas gracias, Ministro, por sus declaraciones. And now I would like to ask you, Professor Barroso, you opened our panel. Could you close our panel, close the conference even? No pressure. Final words.
Okay, but no more speeches.
No more speeches, from the heart.
Just two words. Yeah. Just 2 words of thank you. Very sincere. First of all, to Seth. Seth is one of the most well-recognized champions of immunization and a true leader in global health. He has paid great service to Gavi, and so after 12 years of great leadership, as chair of the board, I sincerely thank him. I'm sure that our paths are going to cross on the future, because with all his experience and his knowledge and his passion for these matters of global health, I'm sure that we are going to use, if I may make that word now, use your experience, your knowledge, and your passion. So thank you very much for the service to Gavi, to immunization, and to global health. The very final word is muchas gracias a España, and also very good work and all the best for your presidency of the European Union, the Council of the European Union. It starts on the 1st of July. Thank you also for your hospitality, for your leadership, for your commitment and your support to Gavi, and for the fact that the minister just confirmed that Spain is going to keep this as a very high priority at political level in the European Union, not only global health and also the linkage with climate change and other threats we are now facing, but also specifically the cause of immunization. So we wish you well, and once again, I think on behalf of all of us, thank you for your hospitality and then your leadership. Thank you.
What a beautiful ending, what a beautiful conference. Everything has been fantastic. I'm sad to close, but I guess we have to, right? One last word, please. One last word,
Which is to thank you, Maria and Zinga, for the incredible leadership over the 3 days. And to thank the incredible leadership of the team of the Gavi Secretariat, working with their colleagues in Spain to pull off such an amazing meeting. So thank you. I'm looking at you, Maria, and your team, but thank you.
I don't want it to end. Any more thank yous? Anything else to say? Thank you, our audience. Anyone else? Oh, our photographers, everybody else behind the scenes that, again, we may have forgotten for pulling this all together. And we're going to take a photo, yes. Thank you once again. Muchísimas gracias a todos. What a conference. You've been fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Muchas gracias a todos. Thank you.